Hi everybody, this is Tree. So hope everybody's having a great day today. For this video, I'm gonna do a reaction video on Jimmy Kimmel Live's first episode since he got his job. Not just him, but Guillermo and the rest of the crew there in Jimmy Kimmel Live is back on the air last night. I wasn't able to stay up super late last night to see, the comeback episode of the show. Here we go. Can't wait to see it. Sorry, everybody.
Breaking news on Jimmy Kimmel and autism. Jimmy Kimmel.
What the hell?
Back to late night television.
ABC chose to bring back their low-rating nighttime host.
We are in for a monologue that will be a marker in late night show history.
It's going to be a moment.
Yeah, no question. A huge moment in American history.
It's one of the most pivotal moments in broadcast history.
He will be delivering what is being dubbed the most anticipated monologue in late night in years.
They just showed they just showed hold on. Okay. They just showed Guillermo in a banana costume, and I don't know what animal Jimmy was dressed up as. Here we go. Yeah! Woo! Welcome back, boss. Woo! And you're welcome. Lots of us fought for you to come back on the air. You're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. Go get him, Jimmy. I don't know if he's getting ready to cry or something. He looks emotional. Yeah, he's gonna cry, but he's trying not to cry because I think he's obviously moved to tears. That what we all did for him and fought to keep his show on the air. Oh, Jimmy! Oh, standing ovation. Loud standing ovation. Well deserved, too.
Thank you. Anyway, as I was saying before I was interrupted, if you're just joining us, we are preempting your regularly scheduled encore episode of Celebrity Family Feud to bring you this special report. I'm happy to be here tonight with you.
Woo! Woo, 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 woo. Well, people stood up for him again. Oh.
I'm not sure who had a weirder 48 hours, me or the CEO of Tylenol. It's been overwhelming. I've heard from a lot of people over the last 6 days. I've heard from all the people in the world over the last 6 days.
Oh, whoa.
I've ever met has reached out 10 or 11 times. Weird characters from my past are even the guy who fired me from my first radio job in Seattle, where we are not airing tonight, by the way. Sorry, Seattle. His name is Larry. In 1989, Larry tried to force me to do a bit called Jokes for Donuts, where people would call in with a joke and I would give them donuts. I refused to do it, and then I made a lot of fun of Larry for suggesting it. And eventually, Larry fired me, and I had to move back in with my parents. But even he
It's okay.
to cheer me up. Thank you, Larry, and I want to thank everyone who checked in.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, all right. Wow.
Some that I do especially want to mention are my fellow late night talk show hosts.
Yes.
My friend Stephen Colbert.
Yup. Mm-hmm.
Found himself in this predicament. My friends Jon Stewart, Seth Meyers, Jimmy Fallon.
Yup. Mm-hmm. Yup.
Arsenio, Kathy, Juan Chelsea, even Jay reached out. I heard from late night hosts in other countries, from Ireland and
What?
Germany. The guy in Germany offered me a job. Can you imagine?
That is so cool.
This country has become so authoritarian. The Germans are like, come here.
Who needs a freaking Emmy Award when you have all this love and support at a time like this?
I feel honored to be part of a group of people that knows what goes into doing a show like this. And
Right.
I also want to thank all of you.
Yep. Go Team First Amendment, people. Woo!
Who supporting our show, cared enough to do something about it, to make your voices heard so that mine can be heard. I will never forget it. And maybe
I think it's to start to cry. Oh my God.
most of all, I want to thank the people who don't support my show and what I believe, but support my right to share those beliefs anyway.
Yeah, I heard Ted Cruz spoke up about that one. That's, you know.
Like Ben Shapiro, Clay Travis, Candace Owens, Mitch McConnell, Rand Paul, even my old pal Ted Cruz
Yeah, there you go.
said something very beautiful on my behalf.
I hate what Jimmy Kimmel said. I am thrilled that he was fired.
Oh, wait, no, not that. The other part.
But let me tell you, if the government gets in the business of saying,
Well,
we don't like what you, the media, have said, we're going to ban you from the airways if you don't say what we like, that will end up bad for conservatives.
I don't think I've ever said this before, but Ted Cruz is right. He's
Sounds like a voiceover or something like that.
I mean, think about it. If Ted Cruz can't speak freely, then he can't cast spells on the Smurfs. Even though I don't agree with many of those people on most subjects, some of the things they say even make me want to throw up. It takes courage for them to speak out against this administration, and they did, and they deserve credit for it. And
No, in all seriousness, that's true. I heard that Ted Cruz spoke up about protecting the First
control what we
Amendment.
do and do not say on television, and that we have to stand up to it. I've been hearing a lot about what I need to say and do tonight, and the truth is, I don't think what I have to say is going to make much of a difference. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. I have no illusions about changing anyone's mind. But I do want to make
Right.
something clear because it's important to me as a human, and that is, you understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man.
Yeah, he's tearing up right now. He's talking about Charlie Kirk.
I posted a message on Instagram on the day he was killed, sending love to his family and asking for compassion, and I meant it. I still do. Nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions of what it was obviously a deeply disturbed individual. That was really the opposite of the point I was trying to make, but I understand that to some that felt either ill-timed or unclear, or maybe both. And for those who think I did point a finger, I get why you're upset. If the situation was reversed, there's a good chance I'd have felt the same way. I have many friends and family members on the other side who I love and remain close to, even
Oh, wow.
though we don't agree on politics at all. I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. This was a sick person who believed violence was a solution, and it isn't. It ever. And also selfishly, I am a person who gets a lot of threats. I get many ugly and scary threats against my life, my wife, my kids, my co-workers, because of what I choose to say. And I know those threats don't come from the kind of people on the right who I know and love. So that's what I wanted to say on that subject. But I don't want to make this about me because, and I know this is what people say when they make things about them, but I really, this show is not important. What is important is that we get to live in a country that allows us to have a show like this. I've had the opportunity to meet and spend time with comedians and talk show hosts from countries like Russia and countries in the Middle East who tell me they would get thrown in prison for making fun of those in power, and worse than being thrown in prison. They know
Oh, God.
how lucky we are here. Our freedom to speak is what they admire most about this country.
Right.
And that's something I'm embarrassed to say I took for granted until they pulled my friend Steven off the air and tried to coerce the affiliates who run our show in the city
No,
that
his
you live in to take my show off the air. That's not legal. That's not American.
No.
That is un-American. And he's so...
No, Stephen Colbert's show is supposed to be canceled next year.
Should the government be allowed to regulate which podcasts the cell phone companies and Wi-Fi providers are allowed to let you download to make sure they serve the public interest? You think that sounds crazy? 10 years ago, this sounded crazy. Brendan Carr, the chairman of the FCC, telling an American company, we can do this the easy way or the hard way, and that these companies can find ways to change conduct and take action on Kimmel, or there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead.
Oh my God.
Being a direct violation of the First Amendment is not a particularly intelligent threat to make in public. Ted Cruz said he sounded like a mafioso.
Yep.
Although, I don't know, if you want to hear a mob boss make a threat like that, you have to hide a microphone in a deli and park outside in a van with a tape recorder all night long. This genius said it on a podcast. Car is the most embarrassing car Republicans have embraced since this one. And
Oh!
that's saying something.
Oh, hell no. There's a Tesla.
Of meddling where they shouldn't under many administrations, but it wasn't always like this. There was an FCC commissioner back in 2022 who worked under Joe Biden, who was spot on. He wrote, President Biden is right. Political satire is one of the oldest and most important forms of free speech.
Yep.
It challenges those in power while using humor to draw more people into the discussion.
Right.
That's why people in influential positions have always targeted it for censorship. You know who wrote that? FCC Commissioner Brendan Carr, who later was appointed chairman of the FCC by this former crusader for free speech.
If we don't have free speech, then we just don't have a free country. It's as simple as that. If this most fundamental right is allowed to perish, then the rest of our rights and liberties will topple. Just like dominoes, one by one, they'll go down.
That was also in 2022.
What?
I wonder, how did that guy
What a
turn
dickhead.
into this guy?
Who would you like to see replace Kimmel on late night?
A lot of people, anybody could replace him. Guy had no talent. Kimmel had, look, he was fired. He had no talent. It's a whack job, but he had no talent. And more importantly than talent, he had no, because a lot of people have no talent, they get ratings. But he had no ratings.
Well,
Screw you, asshole. Oops.
I do tonight.
He's just jealous of Jimmy Kimmel because, you know, he knows deep down inside that he will never, our current president will never be well loved the way that Kimmel will be.
He
Yes.
tried his best to cancel me instead
Yep.
of force millions of people to watch the show. That backfired bigly. He might have to release the Epstein files to distract us from this now.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been asking me if there are conditions for my return to the air, and there is one. Disney has asked me to read the following statement, and I agreed to do it. Here we go.
Uh-oh, what is it? Oh,
To
God.
reactivate your Disney Plus and Hulu account. Open the Disney Plus app on your smart TV or TV connected device.
I don't think so.
Fortunate to work at a company that has allowed me to do the show the way we want to do it for almost 23 years. I've done almost 4,000 shows on ABC, and over that time, the people who run this network have allowed me to evolve and to stretch the boundaries of what was once traditional for a late-night talk show, even when it made them uncomfortable, which I do a lot. Every night, they've defended my right to poke fun at our leaders and to advocate for subjects that I think are important by allowing me to use their platform, and
That's
I'm very
bullshit.
grateful for that. With that said, I was not happy when they pulled me off the air on there. I did not agree with that decision, and I told them that, and we had many conversations.
Oh.
I shared my point of view, they shared theirs. We talked it through, and at the end, even though they didn't have to, they really didn't have to. This is a giant company. We have short attention spans, and I am a tiny part of the Disney Corporation. They welcomed me back on the air, and I thank them for that.
I'll give them that credit.
Unfortunately, and I think unjustly, this puts them at risk. The President of the United States made it very clear he wants to see me and the hundreds of people who work here fired from our jobs. Our leader celebrates Americans losing their livelihoods because he can't take a joke.
Yep. I can't stand passive-aggressive people.
CBS, then he turned his sights on me, and now he's openly rooting for NBC to fire Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers and the hundreds of Americans.
Oh yeah, that was
who do
messed
their
up.
shows who don't make millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And I hope that if that happens, or if there's even any hint of that happening, you will be 10 times as loud as you were this week. We have to speak out against it.
Yeah, we better. And Universal better not. This is a long-ass video.
He's suing them, he's bullying them. Over the weekend, his foxy friend Pete Hegseth announced a new policy that requires journalists with Pentagon press credentials to sign a pledge promising not to report information that hasn't been explicitly authorized for release. That includes
What a freaking wimp.
information. They want to pick and choose what the news is. I know that's not as interesting as muzzling a comedian, but it's so important to have a free press, and it is nuts that we aren't paying more attention to it. Walter Cronkite must be spinning in his grave right now.
Yep.
He's dead, right?
Of course.
I never imagined I would be in a situation like this. I barely paid attention in school. And one thing I did learn from Lenny Bruce and George Carlin and Howard Stern is that a government threat to silence a comedian the president doesn't like is anti-American. That's
Yep. And it's downright illegal.
Solidarity on that from the right and left and from those in the middle like Joe Rogan. Maybe the silver lining from this is we found one thing we can agree on, and maybe we'll even find another one. Maybe we can get a little bit closer together. We do agree on a lot of things. We agree on keeping our children safe from guns, from reproductive rights for women, social security, affordable health care, pediatric cancer research. These are all things that most Americans support. Let's stop letting these politicians tell us what they want and tell them what we want.
Wow, what a comeback. What a comeback.
Over the weekend, a very beautiful moment. I don't know if you saw this on Sunday. Erica Kirk forgave the man who shot her husband. She forgave him. That is an example we should follow. If you believe in the teachings of Jesus as I do, there it was. That's it. A selfless act of grace, forgiveness from a grieving widow. It touched me deeply. And I hope it touches many. And if there's anything we should take from this tragedy to carry forward, I hope it can be that, not this. So thank you for listening, and I'll have more to say when we come back.
Wow. What a comeback. That was amazing. And I didn't think I wasn't crying or anything like that, but who knew it would take an emotional turn the way it did. and I don't blame him. And yeah, wow. There's so many things to say about this opening monologue, and there's this picture of like a Tesla car. It's decorated with the American flag and all the stuff, and then it says Trump. So that was it was really, I signed out to show what the car looks like. Hopefully I'm not gonna be busted for copyright infringement and stuff like that. And anything else, I don't know what to say other than about when he was talking about that tweet from the current president, whose name I will refuse to say, about the tweet saying that NBC should get rid of Seth Meyers and Jimmy Fallon's show. Do it. Basically he's asking Universal, who's the parent company of NBC, to get rid of those two talk show hosts. Thank God, so far so good. Thank God. I hope that if Universal were to see this video, please, Universal, never bend the knee for the current president, whose name I will refuse to, I shall leave nameless. It's not worth it. I mean, take note of what happened with ABC. They lost business. They were losing business rapidly since Kimmel was let go from the network and his show and all that stuff. And then look what's going on still with Stephen Colbert. Sadly, for now, Paramount has not decided to let what's his name, Stephen Colbert, continue on with the show next year. But it still remains that he will, Stephen Colbert, as far as I know, he even mentioned it on the show when he announced that Kimmel was going to be back on the air and stuff like that. No announcement from Paramount saying that his show will stay after all. It's not going to be canceled next year. So, we gotta, if us standing up, supporting, voicing out, or fighting for Jimmy Kimmel's show to be back on the air, so be it. Us fans of Stephen Colbert, say something to Paramount, fight, even cancel subscriptions from Paramount or any, anything that belongs to Paramount company. Cancel it if you have to, and stuff like that, to show that it's not, that we're not going to tolerate, this, because Stephen Colbert's show will still be canceled next year. Again, Universal, please continue to not, don't listen to the current president. Never ever, don't follow what he wants you guys to do. Never bend the knee for the current president. Okay, I better get going. It's a very long ass video, excuse me. And anything else, okay, until my next video, whenever that is. Peace out, bye.